Shalawam, Israel. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, the Buanas to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek up there, doing his work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Right, I want to bring out a quick topic, basically entitled "For much wisdom is much grief." All right, and Lord willing, this short segment is edifying. And I want to start off, and it's Ecclesiastes 1:13. And it reads, "And I gave my heart to seek and to search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail have the Most High given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith." And, Solomon, being the wise man, the wise king that he was, at that time, what it says, he gave his heart, meaning his mind, to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. So, he was observing things. He was learning, studying, people's behaviors, the way that they act, how they would go about, certain things when problems would arise, and that's why, the Lord had one of his first acts of showing his wisdom, to test those two women about whose baby it was, man, and this is the way how he got to learn people, learn the ways of the world and different things like that, by seeking, because the scriptures also say, a wise man seeketh and intermeddleth with all. Matter of fact, let me see if I can hunt it down real quick. I believe it's Proverbs 18:1, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. It's Proverbs 18:1. "Through desire, a man having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom." So this is the case of what King Solomon was doing. He separated himself mentally from the everyday mindset of the average person, and seeketh, and he sought, to find out the essence of all the ways of man, according to how much the Most High would allow him to, man. And these are things in which we do, on a smaller level to, prepare us, through the day, to get through the day, to be able to deal with people, people's mindsets, their perspectives, their attitudes, everything, all the bullshit that this world has to throw at us. We seek to, get into all levels of wisdom to be able to, debate with people and different things of that matter, and this is very important, as far as I see it in perspective to, knowing when you're dealing with certain people, when to shut it down, or just knowing a person's spirit based upon the things in which they say, whether you should take it there on a certain level with the person as far as, conversing with them, so on and so forth, man, and sometimes it's just better to keep quiet, just because the way the average Jake mind thinks and how they're all emotional, so King Solomon, he was going through all of these different experiences, and learning Jake and learning people in general, and other things as well, not just people, but, that's one of the main things that I want to focus on, because dealing with the people, that's how we wind up getting the much grief, that we have on a daily, amongst other things like, Esau, being on top of us with his jobs and his hell in general, So I read this again. It's Ecclesiastes 1:13. "And I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail have the Most High given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith." And he said, what? It's a sore travail, meaning what? It's very painstaking, at times, to try to go through the different things and understand the different ways of man, woman, different things like that, man. And ultimately, King Solomon, throughout this chapter, he talks about how, everything is pretty much vanity, you know, because at the end of the day, it's like, what are these people, these people, they can't see what you see. Being that we have the light of YAHAWASHI, people can't see things how we see things, They can't see things for what they really are. And they love to stay stuck in the matrix, man. They don't want to come out of it, So he said this is a sore travail, that the Most High have given to the sons of men to be exercised therewith. Meaning what? This is a continual process that we go through day in and day out, dealing with people, dealing with just learning in general, trying to dive into the history, trying to filter out Esau's madness, so on and so forth, just to get to the essence of truth, just to get to the essence of what all things is. It's labor, it's toil, it's worrisome on the spirit, This is verse 14. It says, I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with my own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience and wisdom and knowledge. And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. Okay? For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. All right? So now let's take this back to verse 16, because he said pretty much that, he said to himself in his own heart, that he have come to a greater state. He had more wisdom, more experience, more knowledge, more than this, than everything. So with that, he decided within his mind, I'm going to dive into the mindsets of other people. Somebody like a bum on the street that may seem like, they're crazy, somebody that likes to play, be joyful all the time, nothing serious about them. He tapped into the minds of all different aspects of people that walk the face of the earth. Whether you have a serious person, a scholarly person, or this type of person, he dived into all those type of mind frames, because the more he got to know, the more he found out that, it's like these people just don't get it. And even when you do get all of your heart's desires, so to speak, which people in this world consider money to be all their heart's desires, and not knowing that the money is a tool, that you use just to make certain situations more profitable unto you, as far as timing and a clarity of mind and different things like that. But, Solomon having all of that, and then it's like you get bored, because once you have everything, it's like that's the end. They always say, that the journey is better than when you get to the top, because you're going through it. You appreciate all of that hard work and that effort. So it do feel, may feel good at the moment when you get, to the point that you've been wanting to reach. But after you reach it, it's like, it's just like, for instance, when you look in, I use a carnal example. You may want a pair of shoes or something. Yo, them shoes is fire. Now you go get the shoes after you got them, they become nothing because it was just the want of it. Or dealing with women, how they say, what, the thrill of the chase. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then when you come to it, like, you realize that you wrecked your brain, you wrecked your mind, all that for what? You dive into the mindsets of other people only to acknowledge that you can deal with them on a certain level, but they still won't get it. You can stoop your mind down to their perspective and deal with them on their level. And they, deal with them on whatever type of level you want to, and they're not going to get it no matter what. And it just puts you in a place. Well, let me read this verse again. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. And the more you know, the more you put yourself in a box. That's why the scriptures say, about us being soldiers for YAHAWASHI. Salakia. Second Timothy's 2:3. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahawashi. And no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. Okay, so we know, that the word soldier goes into, basically being solitary, being in solitude. This is the lonely journey. So the more we grow within this truth, the more we grow within this knowledge, the more we're applying the wisdom and the understanding from the knowledge in which we're gaining on a daily basis, the more you really put yourself in that box to where it's like you can't talk to anybody, because people just don't get it. Simple conversations that you would have with a person and everything gets misconstrued, and a lot of it comes from people being so emotional in this current world in which we live in. This truth really is a lonely journey, man. It's like we just have to just keep marching forward, and walking that lonely path, man. Just keep walking that lonely path until, Yahawashi pulls us up off these streets, and, the more, brothers may get upset. You may feel this, you may feel that, but it's only temporary, all of that. Yahawah said that, he's going to wipe all of the tears and stuff away from our eyes, all of the lonely feelings and the thoughts and different things that, you have going on in your mind, because I always like to quote from what the brother Amnawa Allah said, in the main camp, is that one of the hardest thing about this truth is, living a life of secrecy, because you saying things out loud to people, but they just don't understand. They just won't get it. Whether if it's, things, mainly things about the truth, but even having simple, basic conversations, and people can't get over their own minds, their own mindsets, their own thoughts to see the bigger picture in things, But this is Revelations 21:4. I'll start at verse 3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. And the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain. Okay? No more having to learn and going through grief and dealing with people, or have to try to teach somebody or tell somebody this or get somebody to understand this. No more aggravation upon your spirit. Because a lot of the times when we're trying to get through to people, you just end up aggravating yourself, and it's no sweat off their back because they don't give a damn, man. Because they're in that worldly mindset, man. And we get the grief from it. Brothers young getting gray hairs and, face starting to look old just from going through, the everyday bull with these people, man. Read this again. It says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Okay. So as it gets into in Hebrews, the 8th chapter, we no longer have to teach one another that we should know the Lord, and it won't be different things of, you misconstruing this, or, just mix-ups in conversations and your point being twisted, and people trying to play around with words and different things like that. We ain't going to have to worry about none of that slick stuff Jake do, man. Everything can truly be at peace, Lord willing, when we enter into the kingdom, man. But until then, we got to continue to endure this grief, with this great truth that's been placed upon our shoulders, as men, as soldiers for YAHAWASHI. And we have to take that burden and walk with it in great dignity, and continue to do so until the Most High, says that's it, So, I just hope this short segment was edifying, just, stuff just rolling, thoughts just rolling through my head. So, thought I'd just, put it the video, so Lord willing, this segment was edifying. And I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, the Buanas to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalawam to Lek out there doing this work of faith and labor of love and true sincerity. Shalawam.